everybody. This is Big Stack Numismatics. It is Saturday, September 25th, and I just want to say welcome to all my fellow coin collectors out there. I have another early commemorative coin to show you. This one is a 1936 Wisconsin commemorative $50. I'm going to be upfront with you. This is not the best design I've ever seen in my life, but having lived in Wisconsin before, I do feel good to have picked this one up as I'm trying to typeset all of the early American commemorative coinage. So let's just take a look real quick. And actually on this particular coin, I'm going to show you the details here first. So we do have a PCGS MS67 example. And they packaged this one with the reverse first here, but we see an arm and a hammer and a pile of iron ore, a pile of lead ore. And we'll talk about that why in a little while. On the back side, on the obverse, we see a badger, 3 vertical arrows, and an olive branch. And so we'll be talking about this. But this specific coin, let's look at the coin first. It is nice to have a Mint State 67 coin. Not sure how well the luster can be captured on camera, but it does have some very nice cartwheeling. The fields are very smooth. You know, there's a little bit of toning in there, in those fields especially. And again, lustrous coin. So do enjoy this. Not the greatest design. Let's be honest. It is not very attractive design, in my opinion, right? Other coins that have more, like just the amount of fields, I guess, is cool. You know, I like that because there are some very busy commemoratives that are out there, but just not a very attractive coin, in my opinion. All right, let's talk a little bit about this. So why the arm and hammer? And of course, this has been kind of made fun of historically as, but it's just like the Arm& Hammer ad, right? Well, when Wisconsin was a territory back in 1820s, actually, let me back up for a second. In the 1820s, large amounts of lead ore was discovered in Wisconsin, which, in addition to all of the traders and the trappers and stuff that would use that area, it brought a lot of miners to the area pursuing lead. And that brought up the whole idea of badgers. And again, there's the state animal is the badger. But it's not because of the animal that the Wisconsin animal is the badger. It's because back in the early 1800s, a lot of these miners that ran to Wisconsin to try to profit from the ore that was there would literally, instead of building houses, they would live inside of their mines. They build themselves little areas in the shafts, and they were referred to as badgers. So there you go. I mean, there are actual badgers that live in Wisconsin, but that's the reason that it's the badger state, is because of what the miners used to do and living in their shafts. Interesting nugget of information. At any rate, moving here to, of course, there's the animal badger. But let's talk about the arrows and the olive branch there. The 3 arrows stand for the conflict with Native Americans called the Black Hawk Wars. A little bit of history on that. So in 1804, President William Henry Harrison had signed a treaty in St. Louis with several Native American leaders and to essentially buy all of their lands east of the Mississippi. And that the leaders at the time, the Native American leaders, later... the tribes had said that they didn't have legal standing. They didn't refer to the Native American councils to actually cede any lands. But essentially what the treaty says is that for $2,200 in goods and about $1,000 a year payment, they'd be willing to move west of the Mississippi. Well, the tribes did not agree with that. And so for years and years, there was internal conflict on that specific thing. But so when all of these miners ended up showing up in southeastern Wisconsin, there ended up being conflict. Whereas some of the tribes got up and left, and others said, we're going to fight. And if you know anything about the 1812 War and the fact that America fought Native Americans, and of course with potentially allied with the British, and so the Black Hawk was the Native American leader that led the charge to try to clear out the people from some of their areas. And he was hoping that the British would come back and help them, as in like the 1812 war. So that did not happen, and obviously the Black Hawk Wars were not successful for the Sauk Nation and the Indians that were trying to reclaim land. But yeah, interesting. So the three arrows designate the three armed conflicts that Black Hawk led, and then the olive branch is the sign of the peace that came after. So yeah, let's see, 1832 is when Black Hawk fought those wars. 1836, Wisconsin was named a territory. And if you look at this picture right here, this is basically a depiction of the seal of Wisconsin's territory. I'll show that here real quick. So it looks similar to that. 1836, Wisconsin became a territory, and of course, statehood for Wisconsin in 1848. Okay, so the design of this coin is by a man named Benjamin Hawkins, but previously, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, but there was another version of the Wisconsin coin that had been created, but it was in high relief. I'll show you a picture of that real quick, what that would have looked like. And they ended up switching directions and saying, we're not doing a high relief commemorative, so they asked Benjamin Hawkins to make a different, I mean, it's basically the same design, but a different version of that. All right, a little bit about this particular coin. If we go here to the PCGS certification site, we can see that there are, the value in the price guide is about $425. I paid $360 for this coin. There is a population of 563 that are in Mint State 67 and 130 higher, presumably MS68. Most Wisconsin commemorative halves are in Mint State. That's because they were sold primarily to collectors and what do you call it? Coin, people that were trying to corner the market, and so most coins avoided circulation of any kind. So you can easily find cheap versions of Mint State Wisconsin coins, although you have to pay a little bit more to get them in Mint State 67. Price history, we'll take a look at that real quick here on the PCGS website, and you can see that, of course, it spikes in the late 80s I got to research why what happened in the coin market back then, but the last time this coin was worth $425, at least in the price book, was in the late 70s. So could it go down further? It could. I don't think it will. So I was willing to pay a little bit more for this coin in this condition. As I'm pursuing my my early commemorative typeset, I'm willing to pay a little bit more when there's a lot available, for a high grade, because why not, right? There's certain coins, as I look at them, that are gonna, the more rare ones, I don't know how I'm gonna get a Mint State version of some of them, without paying way more than I'm willing to pay. But anyway, a little bit of the history of this particular coin. Let's take one last look. Always happy to add a coin to my early commemorative collection. There you go. Yeah, I think that's probably it for right now. What's next? Let's see. Last week I did a box search of all of my dimes to try to find some unique ones in there. We have this coming up. I do have some more. You know what? I might do large cent video next. I'm not sure. I got a really nice specimen of a early American large cent, and we'll have to take a look at that. But I appreciate you tuning in. This is Big Stack Numismatics. I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. We'll be back at you next week. Have a good one.